Hi, I'm Anthony Macco at Ocrolus, the account manager, and I'm here with Esperanza from Neighborhood Loans. Today, we are here to talk about AI and how it plays in the mortgage lending space. Let's jump in.
Hi, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Super excited.
So, quick introductions, if you could.
I'm the regional manager for Neighborhood Loans. I manage the Chicago North offices and help support the other regions that are also under the Neighborhood Loans umbrella. I run the processing department, so we use Ocrolus day in and day out. So this is super exciting to be able to share our experience with everybody out there.
Thank you for sitting down with us. Thank you for having us here in your nice studio. So, first off, Esperanza, tell us about Neighborhood Loans and the borrowers that you serve.
Neighborhood Loans is a lender that's licensed in 47 states, and we continue to grow. The clientele that we serve is pretty much from one end of the gamut to the other. A lot of the Hispanic community, a lot of affluential people, a lot of just the normal, Johns that, walk this world. So we do mortgages for pretty much everybody and anybody, whether they be very tech savvy to not tech savvy at all. But we do try to service everybody and anybody that's looking to purchase a home. We focus on the home buyer experience and making sure that we provide them with the best service available, especially for one of the biggest financial transactions that they're probably going to have in their lifetime. So we just want to make sure that they have an amazing experience working with our company.
What loan types do you guys offer primarily?
So we offer pretty much everything from conventional, FHA, VA. Recently, we started bringing in non-QM loans in house. We also started doing lines of credit. So pretty much anything that you need. The only business that we do not, or on loan type that we don't offer, are commercial loans. Not yet, at least, but anything residential.
Got it. So the only constant in the industry is change. What are some of the trends that you're seeing today?
So I think that technology is a huge trend right now, right? And I think it's one of the biggest focuses that a lot of the mortgage people or the mortgage industry in general is being focused on. We've gone from a very manual process to now depending a lot, if not everything, on technology. So that's one of the things that I think everybody is trying to acquire, to understand, and to bring into their processes to try to, make their lives a little bit easier and make the process more efficient.
What about with borrower applications, the makeup of a borrower application? How has that changed recently?
Same thing, technology. Before it was a conversation over the phone, the loan officer would take all the data and then manually enter it into the system. Now, a link is sent to the borrower himself. They can go online, apply, run credit, run findings, that kind of thing, upload all of their documents. So the borrower, right, a lot of the responsibility is being put on the borrower where before it wasn't. And the borrower also has access to be able to control the transaction a little bit more. So that's one of the biggest things that we've seen.
What about their expectations? Have borrower expectations changed, whether it be with processing times or technology that the lender has?
Absolutely. Faster, 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 right? Before, the expectation was that you can close a loan in 60 days. Now you're probably looking at 2 to 3 weeks is the standard. So, technology plays a huge part in that because we have to streamline a lot of the processes in order to be able to meet those kinds of deadlines.
So, what challenges do you face nowadays in the industry, and how do you see technologies like AI-powered technologies helping you solve those problems?
So we're making a transition from, 30, 40, 50-year-olds purchasing homes to now you're seeing 20-year-olds purchasing homes. And they're a lot more technologically advanced than we're used to. So that demand has to be met, right? We went from clients who want to deal with the transaction face to face. They want the phone calls, they want the customer interaction or the client interaction, to not wanting to talk to anybody and I just give me a link and I'll take care of everything from there, right? So it's a completely different world that we're dealing with now, and we're seeing an increase in that. So our biggest struggle is making sure that we can meet that demand, that we make make it as seamless and as easy as possible, that we stay in touch with the trends, that we stay up to date with the changes, that we continue to be aggressive, that we continue to be innovative. So right now we're trying to focus on all of those things to kind of make us stand out in the industry, while not losing that personal touch, while not being all um, computer generated, and making sure that they still have that little personal touch, which I think is super important.
So that's a focus at Neighborhood Loans, keeping that borrower relationship, keeping them
Absolutely.
feel important,
Ab-
feel like this is the most important thing they're
Yeah,
doing, the biggest purchase they're making, right?
absolutely. Because if you think about it, this is one of the biggest financial transactions you're going to have in your life. And I think that with the younger generation, they're used to, right, going on an app and looking up their data, and not having to talk to anyone about it. But the mortgage industry is so different, and so many things are required, that you still need a little bit of hand holding. So it's trying to develop how we can combine AI, right? How we can combine our processes and still continue to have that personal touch and not lose that edge, because I think that that's what's going to make us stand out.
So some lenders have a hesitation to adapt AI-powered technologies. Their team members just may be apprehensive. What would you say that what is the cause of that? And what would you say to a company considering AI-powered technologies?
So I think that the biggest hesitation with bringing AI on or into the mortgage industry, or even our company, right? I think the biggest hesitation from employees is they don't understand it. I think that they're intimidated by it, right? I think that they feel like, oh my God, a robot's going to take over my job. And that's probably one of the the biggest hesitations. Although a lot of people don't say that outright, it's still in the back of their mind. And I think that what they need to understand is, the mortgage industry is very different from a lot of the industries out there, and you're still going to need that personal touch, that hand holding that we've talked about. So that's something that AI cannot replace. What AI can help with and replace are all the little manual things that are taking up too much time, right? It isn't allowing your staff to focus on that personal touch, that relationship building, that networking that needs to be done, that I really don't truly believe will ever go away. That can't be replaced by AI. So let AI take over all the little manual things, all of the things that truly are a waste of your time, right? And let it handle that for you, so that you can then be freed up to do all the important things that are truly going to make the company money and establish those strong relationships.
Yeah, we call it the toil of the jobs. Take away the toil and let folks focus on things that
Absolutely.
build relationships, takes brain power, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So let's transition to talk about Neighborhood Loans. What is the secret sauce at Neighborhood Loans?
So, I think the secret sauce for neighborhood loans and what makes us stand apart is, one, I think leadership, right? They are every day digging and looking at ways of being able to make the departments more efficient, providing us the backup and the support that we need to be able to close more loans. But without losing that personal touch. We stand apart from all of the other big mortgage companies that are out there, because we still offer that personal touch. You have all of these mortgage companies that are very much all 100% AI. Apply online. You don't need to talk to anybody. You don't need to do anything, but there's no loyalty in that. And I think that what makes a client or a customer continue to come back is that little personal touch, that trust, that knowing that, hey, I can pick up the phone and still call this person and have that person answer all my questions and guide me through the process, versus going online and trying to figure out my way through their website and what is the status of my file. Where am I? Am I going to close? Do I have a loan? What is happening? I can't call anybody. There's no phone number. So we don't want to lose that. We don't want our clients to have to struggle, or doubt that neighborhood loans is there for, to support them through this huge decision that they're making in their life. It's one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves in, is making sure that, everybody knows that we're, behind them 100%, that they can call us at any time. Most of our cell phone numbers are on our signature line. You can call anybody in our office, and somebody will answer on the weekend. So to us, it's important to continue to be able to offer that service without losing um, that little personal touch that kind of sets us apart. So Neighborhood Loans, the leadership of Neighborhood Loans has done and continues to do an amazing job trying to build the company that way without losing the little bit of personal touch.
Putting a face to the name.
Absolutely.
And I can tell from the studio here and the friendliness around this office that I think from the top down, Neighborhood Loans does kind of implement all these things.
Yeah.
So what role does technology play in Neighborhood Loans' goal as a company and their success?
I think that if Neighborhood Loans wants to continue to grow, we've done a lot of growth in the past. I've been with the company 7 years, and in the 7 years that I've been here, we've grown a lot. We went from being licensed in maybe 10 states to now 47. And I think that if Neighborhood Loans wants to continue to grow and offer amazing service throughout the nation, right? I think the technology has a huge part to play in that, because it's impossible for us to continue to grow and offer amazing customer service without having some sort of technological support. So I think AI is going to allow us to do that. It's going to take, it does an amazing job at reviewing things for us and catching discrepancies and calculating income and all of these things that take us away from being able to do the important things that without that, there's no way that we can continue to grow.
Love to hear that. That's one of the goals that we have, is to enable people to be more freed up to work with borrowers, to work with people. So why is it important for Neighborhood Loans to work with the right technology partners?
So I think that our morals and our beliefs have to align. For us, like I said, customer service is the number one most important thing, right? And I think that aligning yourself with a company who also believes that is huge, because then you're going to understand where we're coming from when we're trying to build a platform or when we're trying to make changes to the platform that we're working with. A company that can understand why we're making those changes, how important it is, and to act on it right away instead of kind of putting us to the side and be like, oh, sure, we'll work on that later. Having another company who understands and aligns with our beliefs like that is huge, because as much as we're growing and as fast as we're growing and as much as we want to help people, we need to make sure that the people that we partner with want to do the same. Because if we're going to grow, you're going to grow. Right? You need to be able to keep up with us. And it's super important to us to make sure that all of our beliefs align.
So Esperanza, why did Neighborhood Loans choose Ocrolus as an AI-powered data analytics platform?
I think Ocrolus has an amazing system to offer. You guys have worked really hard to build an amazing AI platform. You understand our industry. You understand what affects us and what struggles we have. We didn't even have to come to you and tell you the things that we were struggling with, or the shortcuts that we needed, or what would make our jobs easier. Ocrolus came in and just said, "Hey, wouldn't this be amazing?" And it was just like, "Ah." It was the greatest thing ever. We would never have thought of bringing in an AI platform to do the things that Ocrolus does for us. I mean, honestly, I've been in the industry for a very long time, almost 30 years, believe it or not. And it had never crossed my mind that something so amazing could be on offer. Like, as soon as I explained it and showed it to my team, like I said, immediately the nerves started of, oh my God, we're going to lose our jobs. They're going to replace us. Robots are replacing us. But they didn't see the way that it was going to help them be able to get through their jobs much faster and free them up to do more. Right. So Ocrolus for us was an easy decision because, again, like I said before, we're looking for a company where we align, right, in our beliefs and in our in the industry. We were looking for a company that could support us and provide us the things that we needed in order to be able to be successful. And we were looking for a company who understands our processes and understands our industry. And Ocrolus checked every box.
It helps when you speak the same language, but it
Yes.
helps, like you said, when you're doing this, when you're moving the same way. We don't have everything out of the box, but we can get things made for you, and working together both now and in the future, I think is something that we've done well together.
Absolutely. I've interviewed a few companies just for other things, right? And everybody always comes in, oh my God, we can do so many great things for you. But when you really start getting down to the nitty-gritty and start talking about your processes and the systems that you use, and you have to explain it to them and kind of break it down, you immediately kind of take a step back. It's like, okay, this is going to be a lot more painful than we really need it to be.
Yeah.
And I never felt that with the transition with Ocrolus. You guys, Ocrolus came in and it was just like it was always there. Yeah, it was just the simplest uh interaction, the simplest processes. It was just the integration was so simple. It was just seamless. And you really want that, especially with how quickly we're growing.
Yeah, we understand change management is its own hurdle. So why make any other hurdles, and when we have change management as a big one anyway.
And when you're busy, you don't want to have to stop, right? You don't want your company to come to a standstill. You want to be able to kind of sneak it in and just let it go, right? And that's truly how it happened. It kind of just got snuck in, you just told them, hey, you just have to take these extra 3 steps and it's all done for you. So it was a lot easier to be able to take on than a lot of the other integrations that we've done in the past.
So how does Ocrolus fit into your current tech stack within Encompass built in? And how does it help streamline certain workflows that you've seen?
Yeah. So we've always trained our processors to do everything in Encompass, right? Try not to do anything outside of Encompass. Everything needs to be in Encompass. All the information needs to be there so that this way, if one person is out, the next person can step in and take over without any issues. The fact that Ocrolus is already integrated in Encompass. All we had to do was kind of just, click a button and go to Partner Connect and view the income worksheet, and everything was there. The fact that all we needed to do was create a folder and drop everything in there and come back and everything was there. Like you didn't have to leave the system in order to get anything done, made it so much easier. There really wasn't anything to truly relearn. Because everything that Ocrolus does and offers, is already things that we are used to, right? It's just an extra step to kind of go to a different page that has all of the data for you. So it definitely made our job a lot easier. Streamlining a lot of the manual processes that we were already doing. You had a person who had to go in to the e-folder and take each individual document and drop it into a folder and do all of these things. And now it's just you grab 50 documents, drop it into the folder, and everything is cleaned up and pretty for you when you go back in, which is great. You had to go into the income worksheet and try to work it out and figure it out and save it and upload it and do all these things. And now you just go to Partner Connect and your beautiful income worksheet is in there. And now we're doing non-QM. So now you have 24 months of bank statements, a lot of data that you have to manually review, where now you just drop it into the folder and Ocrolus sends you this wonderful spreadsheet and everything's broken out for you. So you can't get any simpler than that.
Esperanza, thank you for your time today. Thank you for being such a gracious host. What are some of the things that you and Neighborhood Loans are looking forward to the most with Ocrolus in the future?
I think that for us, the possibilities are endless. We look at Encompass every day and we try to figure out what else can we do. We look at Ocrolus every day, and I know that we reach out and like, okay, what else can the system do? Can we get it to do this, this, and this? I think that our partnership together is going to allow us to continue to grow, but grow together and build an amazing system that works amazing for us, but it's something that you could also offer to other mortgage companies out there. The product is just going to continue to get better, faster, more efficient. I cannot wait to see once you guys start working with Encompass, all of the other little things that you're going to be able to do for us. So I'm anxiously excited and waiting to see what's coming up next. But I think that the possibilities are endless. The industry is always changing. It just is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. And the fact that you guys are willing and can change with it and continue to be able to help us grow and continue to keep us changing with it, I think is going to be amazing.
It takes two. And, our newest product, Inspect, is one that we're leaning on you and other clients for that feedback. But it takes two to make things happen. And I think we've We've so far done that dance pretty well.
And I love that because every time that we came to you, like, hey, Anthony, can Ocrolus do this? And you're like, no, but we're working on it. And a week later, hey, by the way, this is all done. It's just every single time. So the fact that we are like-minded and that we already know what's coming and what's going to be needed, and that you guys are working behind the scenes to try to get us the, access to that is amazing. And I appreciate it very much.
Well, we appreciate you guys as well. So thank you.